Hi, today I'm going to show you how to draw this nutcracker. So you can see that I've already gotten them drawn on my paper in pencil, but I'm going to go step by step with you. And the first thing I want you to do is take your paper. You're going to be upright. You're going to have your paper in the tall orientation. And in pencil, I want you to do a line down the middle this way and a line down the middle this way. That's going to help us, and you can just erase it later. So what I would recommend is drawing this in pencil, and then you can go back over it with a marker later. I'm going to show you in marker because that shows up a lot better on video. All right, step one, and we're right above the center line. I'm going to zoom in for you a little bit. So right above that center line, we're going to make this nutcracker's belt buckle. So this is just one big rectangle right above that center line. And then we're going to make a smaller rectangle right in the middle. So we've got belt buckle. And we're just right on top of that line. And then we're going to make our belt. We're going to do 2 parallel lines over here and connect them at the edge. And then same thing on this side. We're going to do 2 parallel lines here. And we'll connect them at the side. So now we've got our belt made. And this is going to kind of help us get everything in the right proportions. So the next thing I want you to do is go up, and this is going to be your nutcracker's kind of the edge of his face. So we're just going to make a line right there. And then we're going to do this funny little droop off either side of that line. So just this little droop. There we go. So you have his little shoulder thingies. And then we're going to come down and we're going to do a line that goes to the inside of the belt and a line that goes to the edge of the belt. So we're just outlining his top. Same thing on the other side to make it symmetrical. So now we kind of have his shirt done. And you can see where I am in relation to the page. But I'm zooming it in so you can see what's going on. The next thing I want you to do is come in and just make this lovely little rectangle that goes above and below that line. And that is his teeth. That's the part, that's the nutcracker. And then we're going to put 4 lines in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's the teeth. And then we'll go ahead and make his head. So his head is these 2 little, it's kind of like parentheses. So we're coming out like this, and we're going to end right at the beginning of that little shape that we made. And then we're going to cross right over at the top. And then let's put his hat on. So however much room you have up here is how tall your hat can be. You can make it very tall, or you don't have to make it tall at all. I went kind of with like the crown that has the dome on it. So I went out on the sides like a little flower pot. And then I did a peak in the middle, paying attention to that center line. And then I'm going to come out and meet those edges. So now we've got the cute little pointy part. So then you can do your dome. So you sort of just make a big dome over the top and leave a little space here on the edges. And then for the very top, we can make another little dome. So that's the hat. And let's go ahead and add some detail to our hat. So I'm going to do a circle here. These are going to be like those pretty brass buttons. So 3 circles. And then I am splitting it down the middle and then making 2 curves. So there's a curve and there's another curve. And then I'm going to give it just a little bit of detail here. So I'm going to give it some trim. And then I'm going to do 5 little arches. So I want this one to be centered. And then 1, 2. Same thing on the other side. Just 1, 2. So that's our hat, and we are completely finished with the hat. Yay! So now let's go put his little face in there. So the first part of the face I want to draw is the nose, which is a very skinny triangle. And then we can put some arches for the eyes. So you kind of want these to all be symmetrical. So pay attention to where your center line is. And then you can put a circle and another circle. So there's his eyes. And then we can give him some eyebrows. And these eyebrows kind of are just like a little teardrop shape. Pointy at the outside. Round on the inside. So there's the eyebrows. And then let's go for the mustache. So I'm just gonna do a swoopy line like that. And I'm gonna mirror it over here. And then come down and connect. And connect over there. So there's our mustache. And then if you want to give him some little cheeks, I decided to give him some little pink cheeks. So that's just like a little sunshine right on top of that mustache. How about this hair? So let's go to the hair. And the way I'm going to do this, it's the same way on both sides, but I'm just going to come down and kind of do a little hook like that. And then I'm going to bring it around, and I'm not going to touch his head. I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to do another little hook that's a little further out. And then I'll bring it around. And then one more. So one more little hook. And let's meet it at that shoulder pad. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now sometimes it's harder for me to do these shapes on the other side, but I'm going to do my best. So there's my little hook. And I'm coming in, and I'm not going to touch that head. I'm going to go back out with another hook. And then come in a little bit less. And then I'm going to do one more hook. And then I'm going to meet it at that little shoulder pad. So there we go. We're doing really great. You're doing a wonderful job. Now that we have all this in place, let's make the little part of his uniform, this little poofy sleeve. So we make these 2 little kind of circles coming out of his hair, and they come about halfway down to the chest. And then inside of them, you're going to make a little moon and another little moon. And then on the other side, we're going to do the same thing. So moon and a moon. That's just giving us a little bit of detail on the shoulder pad. And then let's add some floof. So this is just little arches. So we're just giving them some extra flair. I'm glad I turned my paper. This is just a little easier for me when I turn my paper. So we're just coming all the way around with those nice little details. Then we can go ahead and we're going to do the beard the same way that we did up here. So we're going to come down and we're just going to curl and curl. And I want to make sure that you leave room for buttons. So leave yourself a little bit of room. And then you're going to curl back under, curl back under, and then swing it out again, curl back under, swing it out, curl back under, and then one more time, because we're kind of going to mimic that pattern that we have in the hair. So there's the beard. And then you can put your 4 little circles on each side for the buttons. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the same thing on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we're doing great. We've got the top of this nutcracker pretty done. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so we can see the whole thing. Well, all right, we can't see the whole thing, can we? All right, here we go. So now I'm going to come down and we're going to make his little tunic. So we've got this bottom section and you're not going to quite go halfway down with this. And you're barely going to come out because he doesn't have hips. He's a very fit soldier. So it's going to be kind of straight down and then come straight across. All right, and then from the center point on this belt buckle, we're going to make a little diagonal, and then we'll make another diagonal on the other side, and then a parallel diagonal, and another parallel diagonal, and then we'll give it some scallops here. So we're kind of matching the detail that we've put on other parts of our nutcracker. And this is where you can start making it your own. If you want to add different details than what I'm adding, you can always do that. All right, so then we just need to give them these little buttons. So I'm going to do 3 buttons on each side. And we're staying as symmetrical as possible with this nutcracker. All right. And then we can give them these little scallops here at the bottom. Same thing that we did on the hat and on his tunic and on his little shoulder pads. All right, so we've got a lot of his outfit done. Now, about halfway down the tunic, I just want you to do some little rectangles. These are the cuffs on his sleeves. So same thing on each side. So we've got those cuffs drawn. And by drawing the cuff first, that helps us ensure that the length of the sleeves will be similar on both sides. So you're going to come just a little bit in from that cuff and go up to the sleeve and then come just a little bit in on this side and meet it right there. Same over here. So you're going to go a little bit inside and come up. And then same over here, a little bit to the inside of that cuff. And then come right on up. Now I've added this little line here. I don't know if I'm in love with it, but we'll see. Okay, then we're gonna have a button on each cuff. So there's our buttons. And then we can just add, I'm just adding a little round hand because this is like a wooden nutcracker that would be carved, and they probably wouldn't give a lot of attention to the hands. They're usually just round. Sometimes they're holding stuff, but that's what I'm doing with my arms. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this little detail here. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I kind of like it. All right, so we are done with the top half of this nutcracker. All we have left is just these little boots. So I'm gonna push his head out of the shot so you can see his boots really nicely. So the bottom of the tunic and the bottom of the page, about halfway through, we're gonna go and we're gonna put, these are like the rolled over cuffs of the boots. So it's 2 identical rectangles. As identical as we can make them being human. So our 2 little rectangles. And then when I make this shoe, I'm gonna come down and I'm sort of just gonna curve out a little bit. Same symmetrical thing on the other side. I'm just gonna curve toward the center a little bit. And then when I do the other side, I'm gonna go out just a little bit more and meet that line. Same over here. So I'm gonna curve out just a little bit more. And meet that line. Pardon me for all the sneezing. All the sneezing. Woo! All right, so now that we've drawn the boots, we can put his legs in. And I want to get really close to the center. Wow. Super sneezy. All right, and same on the other side. I want to get really close to that center because we want to have some space between the legs. Wow, I am a sneeze factory. I want a little space between the legs. Not too much, not too little. And then we're going to come just to the inside of this boot cuff. We're going to go straight up. And same thing on the other side. So now really all that's left to do is add buttons. So we've got 3 buttons on that side. And then the same 3 buttons on the other side. And then if you want, and I did, I added a little pedestal because the nutcrackers always come on a little wooden pedestal. And I'm just going to connect it in the center. And my friends, there's your nutcracker. I'm going to go ahead and sign it. You can always add some background if you want. But what I'm going to do now that I've gone over everything is I'm going to erase my pencil lines and it's going to look a lot cleaner. So I'm just running over, getting rid of all that pencil. So all that I see is my clean marker lines. And then I've kind of made my own coloring book page. So I can go and I can add color to this however I want. I can do watercolor, I can do markers, pencil, crayon, whatever I'm feeling. So I'm just erasing all my pencil. And there we go. There is my nutcracker. I love it. I think it looks great. I can't wait to see yours and how you've embellished it and what you've done in the background. Good luck.